as a team, and we want to repay them with the win.
The energy they gave us, we just try to reciprocate that by playing the game at a high level.
And we just fed off the energy of the crowd. Like I said, they've been waiting for a long time to be in this situation. We've been waiting for a long time to have them in this situation, and we're going to need them again.
What's good, Laker Nation? What is happening? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of The Forum, a Los Angeles Lakers podcast exclusively on the Grid Network. I am your host, executive producer, and content creator, Patrick L. Brown. And man, the offseason has officially started for the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot to dive into on this episode today. Where does the team go from here? We know we got to try to re-sign Hachimura and Austin Reaves. But we got to address the obvious elephant in the room as we speak. Before we get into all that, be sure that you subscribe to The Grid on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you may listen to your podcasts. Also, be sure that you subscribe to The Grid on YouTube as well. The network is expanding as we speak. Tell a friend, to tell a friend, and tell that friend. Send links, follow us, hit that share, like, comment, and subscribe button on YouTube. Your support is greatly appreciated. Most importantly, thank you all for rocking with me as I transition into the video side of this whole podcasting world. We're going to go ahead and dive into today's show. A little bit of a impromptu show today. Just doesn't seem real that the Lakers season is actually over with. We went through the regular season only to get swept in the Western Conference Finals by the Denver Nuggets, which feels like months ago. But one thing I will say, as we get ready to dive into this offseason, where does LeBron James go from here? As we all heard in his press conference after Game 4, he has a lot to think about. And he uttered the words, retirement, if you can read between the lines. I do believe that whatever decision LeBron makes will predicate what the Lakers do this offseason. We all know that it has been a conclusion to the matter that LeBron James just completed his 20th season in the NBA. 20 seasons. That's a lot of basketball for a guy who has been available through a vast majority of his career. A lot of playoff games, a lot of minutes played. Not only that, he's been hurt the last few years. But if you can read between the lines, and this is what I kind of picked up on, he has a lot to think about. And I think whatever decision he decides to make, he's going to be at peace with it. But I do know just by listening to him and gathering what information I've been able to gather over the last couple weeks, the Los Angeles Lakers want to run it back with this team, whether LeBron's there or not. But Rob Pelinka and Coach Darvin Ham and Jeannie Buss are going to give LeBron the time that he needs in order to make a decision. As you all know, his oldest son, Bronny, committed to USC. His other son, Bryce, is getting ready to transfer to another school to finish out the final 2 years of his high school career. And their daughter, Zuri, is going to be a teenager here for long. If I'm LeBron James, you've got maybe 1 year left to play. I do believe that a lot of teams are going and waiting to see what LeBron's going to do. There's been some rumors floating around and reports as of yesterday, on Monday, June the 5th, that Kyrie Irving was trying to recruit LeBron to join forces with him and Luka in Dallas. I have a lot to say about that. Reason being, what has Kyrie Irving done without LeBron James since 2016 or 2017, I should say, the last time that these two players were on the same floor together? LeBron's won a championship without Kyrie. Kyrie has burned Brooklyn, Boston, Cleveland. And just think, Dallas Mavericks were sitting in 4th place in the Western Conference before they made the acquisition for Kyrie Irving. They ended up missing the play-in altogether. Now that Kyrie can't get to LA, he's going to try to recruit LeBron to Dallas. I have news for the typical basketball fan who may be jumping for joy, thinking that LeBron is going to go to Dallas to join forces with Luka, who is a sensational player, but a defensive liability, and Kyrie Irving. What do we know about Kyrie Irving? Unplanned PTO. He has a tendency to ghost his teammates, the organization. Kyrie wants to play when he wants to play. LeBron is at a phase of his career where babysitting Kyrie is not on his plate right now. LeBron will be in season 21 when the next NBA season starts in 2024. His best chances to win are with the Lakers, not the Mavericks. The Mavericks gave up quite a bit to acquire Kyrie Irving, and then to get them nowhere. You saw the disdain that Luka had. He wasn't having fun playing basketball. It wasn't fun. That was a red flag. You put LeBron in Dallas with two guys who are defensive liabilities, an aging superstar. That's a basketball team in hell. How does LeBron help them? As great as he's been, he does not want to relocate his family and move to Dallas. His son Bronny's getting ready to go to USC in the fall. Bryce is going to be a junior this coming fall as well in high school. And Zuri's still at home. She's going to be a teenager here soon. The all-time leading scorer. LeBron James' best chances to win a title is still with the Los Angeles Lakers with this team intact. You fill a couple of holes. If there's a team out there and a deal that's appealing and intriguing, you entertain the offer. But we all know that LeBron and Kyrie in LA would work under one condition. Kyrie's got to be on his best behavior. As I just mentioned, LeBron is not babysitting Kyrie. It's not happening. As sensational as a basketball player Kyrie Irving is, at this stage of LeBron's career, it's not worth the trouble. We have a team right now that was put together at the trade deadline. A new team at the trade deadline. Turned it around like that. And you want to give all that up for a guy who only plays 40% of the season. Think about that. Do you really want us to give up Rui, Austin Reaves, all the depth for Kyrie Irving? I'm not doing that deal. I don't care what any Laker fan says. If you're smart and you've seen Kyrie Irving's track record, that should tell you everything you need to know. It's not worth it. You want to give up depth and then be a bottom feeder again? Be my guest. If anything, we run it back with what we got. We gotta run it back with the team that we got, in all honesty. Because this whole Kyrie Irving situation is not going away anytime soon. It won't. And as far as I'm concerned, Dallas doesn't have the realistic pieces to make a deal. They don't. If you look at Dallas's roster, outside of Luka, Kyrie, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood, who else is there? Seriously. Do any of those players help the Lakers? No, they don't. I'm not giving up my depth for one Kyrie Irving. He can campaign all he wants to be a Laker or to stay in Dallas. Does not matter to me. I don't care. I'd rather have Damian Lillard over Kyrie Irving. Hell, I'd even take Fred Van Fleet from Toronto over Kyrie. At least I know what he's giving me. Can create his own shot. He's played in big games. He's an NBA champion from the 2019 Raptors. But Kyrie is just not worth it. He's not. And I know some of the Laker fans that I've talked to, well, we would have beat the Nuggets with Kyrie. How? Explain to me. Did you not see what Kyrie does in the shot clock? Yeah, he can get his own shot, but he's got to be able to create for AD. Yeah, you can win games, but it's a defensive liability at this point. Because when the going is bad, Kyrie disappears. You don't know where he's at. It's unplanned PTO. If you know what PTO is, it's paid time off. He'll be gone for a couple weeks. I don't feel like playing. I want to run my own practices. Coaches don't know how to coach. I know more about basketball than they do. We don't need that in the locker room. Coach Darvin Ham is not going to pull with that BS. Kyrie Irving, as sensational as he is not worth putting in this locker room. He won't be able to hide like he could anywhere else. This is a guy, when his head is in the right places, he's a great basketball player. But when he ain't trying to be bothered and don't want to play and don't want to listen, that's where the conflict of interest is going to come. You're willing to give that kind of authority and power to a player, as you've seen through the course of the last, seemed like 5 years. We saw how it played out in Boston. Go Brooklyn. Now Dallas. I'm here to tell you, Laker Nation, that's a no-go for me. Great player, just not worth putting LeBron through all that misery when we have another superstar who has zero motor in one Anthony Davis. LeBron doesn't need those headaches. He doesn't need them. As we move into the next part of the show, Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura are due for big paydays. The question everybody probably wants to know is Austin Reaves' contract. $100 million. You give him a 4-year deal or a 5-year. Austin Reaves is the third star on this team. I said it throughout the course of the season. He was the closer. He's our best three-point shooter on the roster. He's earned the trust of LeBron and AD and the coaching staff. This is a guy who has worked his way up the ladder. In my humble opinion, I would give him whatever he wants. You signed him. You've developed him. He's become a fan favorite. You have to reward him. Austin Reaves is more than welcome to come back to the Lakers. I don't let him leave the building. Whatever it takes. You've got to keep him in the fold. We don't need this to be another Alex Caruso matter like it was a few years ago, where they tried to lowball him and then he left and went to Chicago and got a nice contract. You got a guy in Austin Reaves who's not afraid of the big moment. Yes, he had a bad shooting slump throughout the playoffs. But once he starts getting going, the confidence level gets stronger. We need to keep him in the purple and gold. Because there are teams out there. The Rockets. The Spurs have even come into play. There's some team out there. If the Lakers, if Rob Pelinka does not do right by Austin Reaves, 9 times out of 10, there's a team out there that's going to give him a nice contract. That's just the reality of it. It's the business. But for a guy who has become a fan favorite, should be able to come back. That's just me. Whatever it takes, you got to keep Austin Reaves. Rui Hachimura, a mid-season acquisition. Came in and he filled a hole that we needed. A spark off the bench. He too is going to be getting a nice contract as well. I don't know what the market is for Rui, but we can match any offer out there. Same way with Austin Reaves. We need to keep this team together. I know some Lakers fans have said we need to get rid of D-Lo. If there's a deal out there that's intriguing, and I keep saying Dame Lillard. What's to lose? Dame's just right up the road in Portland. the Portland Trailblazers are willing to part way with their the best player in franchise history, and we can get him, I know we'd probably have to throw in D'Lo, that first round pick, and maybe a Malik Beasley or Max Christie, whatever the case may be. Damian Lillard would be better suited in purple and gold versus one Kyrie Irving. That's just the honesty of it. Dame would be available. And you want to talk about a guy that plays his tail off, can create his own shot. We get Dame time, as he refers to in the fourth quarter. It's Dame time. LeBron has said in past interviews that if you give me Dame, watch what I can do with him. If I'm LeBron James and I'm trying to win one more title before I ride off into the sunset, I'm calling Portland. Like, look, we got one first round pick left. We got D'Lo, who's up for a max extension. We've got a Malik Beasley. What else would we need for y'all to give up Damian Lillard? Because Damian clearly doesn't want to be a part of another rebuild. He could talk about being loyal to the soil and wanting to win in Portland, but Dame, you're not going to win a title in Portland. That window has closed. You're not going to win in Portland. Come down to Southern California. You can be in the conference finals every year. We will treat you like the superstar you should be treated. We will love you and embrace you. You may be an Oakland, California native, but Laker Nation would embrace you as one of our own. The impact that you can have in the community of Los Angeles. The fans would love to have you. We know what you can do. You have been an underachiever in Portland. No big name free agents is going to Portland. If we can't get Dame, I'm on the phone calling Toronto and seeing what's going on with Fred VanVleet. That's just me. A guy who could create his own shot. Pretty decent defender. He's not afraid of the big moments. Plus, he's a decent three-point shooter. The success that LeBron has had throughout his career has been surrounding him with snipers, sharpshooters. He's the big planet with shooting stars around him. For those who don't understand the science aspect of that, that's what we need. We know that this team can make another run at it. Dennis Schroeder would probably come back on a team-friendly deal. AD is eligible for a 3-year extension worth $167 million on top of the 2 years that he has left. That's the biggest elephant in the room, is AD. What's his motor? What's his commitment to the offseason? If we could get a backup big, and I'm going to throw this name out there, Bobby Portis from Milwaukee. 6'10". He's a champion from that 2021 Milwaukee Bucks team. He knows Coach Ham's defensive strategies. He can be a stretch 4 or a stretch 5. He can go toe-to-toe with Jokic. Make him work. But it all comes down to the guard play was exposed big time in that Western Conference Finals versus the Nuggets. We did not have the guard play to slow down Jamal Murray. Fred VanVleet would fit that bill. Bobby Portis would be the big that we need to back up AD. That's what we need. You need a rough rider, a rim protector. Bobby Portis is that. He's not afraid to do the dirty work. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's not afraid to get down low and bang. It helps everybody. Because we know AD's not going to play center whatsoever. But if I were the head coach, I'd be like, look, you're going to play center. One way or another. Even if it's just for a rotation. Because you got to mix it up. Coach Ham has got to push AD's buttons going into 2024. You've got to step on his toes. Not in a freak injury kind of way. Because we've seen in the Western Conference Finals. Coach Mike Malone pushed the right buttons for the Nuggets. Coach Ham couldn't do that with the Lakers. LeBron left it all out on the court in Game 4. And if that happened to be LeBron's last game, he went out swinging. I say this. A lot of decisions to be made. Contracts. Roster turnover. We've got the NBA draft coming up in a few weeks. We all know that Victor Wembanyama is going to be the number 1 pick overall. So, as for the Lakers, our offseason is underway. We have 4 weeks to decide what we're going to do. It all starts and ends with one LeBron James. His decision predicates what the Lakers will do come the legal tampering period at the end of this month. Thank you all for listening to today's show. Be sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to The Grid on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you may listen to your podcasts. Be sure that you follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter. The information will be at the end of the show on the end credits slide. But Laker Nation, let's keep our fingers crossed. Please, if LeBron does come back for one more season. If not, it's been real. And we'll just have to sit and wait. This is June 6th, 2023. We'll know within the coming weeks if LeBron James is going to play another season with the Los Angeles Lakers. That's all that time I have for y'all today. Y'all stay safe. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. And please continue to take care of your mental health. If you're in need of a therapist or counseling, please seek help. Y'all be good. Subscribe to The Grid. Laker Nation. You know the vibes. Lake Show. Let's go. Peace out.